Hey, you. Yeah, you. Wake up. It's easy like Sunday morning.
Drinkade, ready for distribution worldwide.
How was your Saturday night? How is your weekend going? Hopefully, it's going just fine. Before we get into our show, here's the custom here on on Good Morning with Mike Said It First. It's what you missed, presented by Drinkade. Naomi Osaka won her second U.S. Open by beating, I believe it was Victoria Azarenka. Azarenka was actually unranked coming into the match, but we all know who she is. And Osaka then paid tribute to Kobe Bryant. Conor McGregor was arrested for alleged sexual assault and indecent exposure at a bar. And we do not have much time. We only got an hour to talk about all the stuff we're going to talk about. With that being said, here are today's topics. Remember up there, stuff we may not talk about. But remember, it is easy like Sunday morning. Follow me on Twitter at MKADHD to converse with the show. Maybe your tweets will be featured on the next one if you make some good points. Our topics are presented by MyBookie.ag. Enter the promo code 12 on sports. That's promo code 12OZ Sports for a deposit bonus up to $1,000. I always say discount, never say deposit bonus. I don't know why. Here are your topics. The Chiefs dominated the Houston Texans on Thursday Night Football. What did I see? And who did I tell you guys about? The Lakers move on against the Rockets. And what's next for Houston? The Nuggets exposed the Los Angeles Clippers. Actually, I don't even think I have. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to leave that one alone. I apologize for that, guys. I kind of forgot. I knew I was forgetting something, and I forgot a topic for that one. So we're just going to leave that one alone. The Celtics and Heat prediction. Boston and Miami. Is Boston going to the NBA Finals? I'll let you guys know. I am a Heat fan. We might be a little bit biased. Week 1 pick'em. We'll start off with the AFC, then the NFC, then AFC, NFC. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a great show. With that being said, let's get into it. Let's first talk about how the Chiefs kicked the Bill O'Brien's butt, or the Texans. Chiefs beat what was left of the Texans, which is basically Deshaun Watson. I believe it was 34-20. Patrick Mahomes threw for 3 touchdowns, only 211 yards, but hey, it's not like he needed to do anything else. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was impressive. But before I get into him, seriously, what is Bill O'Brien doing? In all honesty, like, that is just, stop me trying to be mean. It's like, stop with this coaching tree crap. I told you guys, every single time I hear about a coach that came from another great coach, he's always given these elite expectations, and nobody ever holds them accountable because they came from said coaching tree. When is that going to end? Bill O'Brien is not good as a GM or a coach. He's got some blood on the Texans owner somehow, some way. I'm not sure how, but it's there. I don't know what's going on, but it needs to stop. He has won the AFC South year after year by default. Andrew Luck was banged up most of those years. Jaguars have always been the Jaguars, with the exception of the year they thought that they were somebody else. And the Titans just got good again. So what's the deal with Bill O'Brien? He's won division titles. I don't care. He got smacked again. They had no chance in that game. Patrick Mahomes was good as always. I have always been a Patrick Mahomes fan. He was good again, and rightfully so. But Bill O'Brien needs medical attention because his brain cannot function. And I don't know who to blame, him or the fact that the Texans continue to allow him to what is the word here? The Texans are allowing him to completely infect the place with losses and just flat out terrible coaching. So I don't know who's more to blame. But what did I tell you guys about Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Now, he was surprisingly a first-round draft pick, so don't say, oh, he was a first-round. No, he was surprisingly a first-round draft pick. All the talk was, oh, Joe Burrow this and Joe Burrow that. You guys didn't know who Joe Burrow was a year ago, okay? Didn't know who he was. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the reason LSU won that football game against Clemson. If Clyde Edwards-Helaire does not start running the ball well, Clemson will win that game and hold their 10, 14-point advantage. But let's go Clyde, baby. Let's go Clyde. The Los Angeles Lakers closed out the Houston Rockets in 5 games. LeBron James is clearly on a mission. I believe the Rockets did give them more trouble than people thought they would. Like, if you actually know, if you're not a casual fan, if you actually know basketball, you're not just hating on the Lakers, you pretty much knew the Lakers would win in 5 or 6. I have said on my show before, I would not be surprised if Rockets won, but I still picked the Lakers in 6. This series, the most surprising thing about it was how good LeBron James looked. He looked better in this round than he did in the first round. I mean, he was just exceptional the entire 5 games. The little bit of minutes that he played, he was insane. Anthony Davis, once he woke up and remembered how to rebound, that was the wrap. That was the series. The series was over. But the Lakers' defense has been nuts as always. Lakers' defense has been incredible. I don't know what it is about them losing game 1s. I would hope they're not going to lose it to the Clippers if the Clippers are not getting exposed again. But I do believe that the Lakers' defense can win a championship pretty easily. When they are fighting like that, they are the best defensive team. It is not the Clippers. The Clippers have the most talent. Lakers have the best defense. It's that simple. It is that simple. So, I also want to give a huge shout out to the white boy, who somebody said looks like your local YMCA guy, which is unfair to white people. Like, can we not play basketball? I get like the majority of athletes in the NBA are black, but can we stop this narrative that white people cannot play? Because there's some guys who can play. It's not many, but there's some guys who can play. Alex Caruso, how about Chase Down Caruso? That was a LeBron-esque block. It was also in a blowout, but who cares? And I love the fact that not only has LeBron James silenced the haters who claimed he couldn't win in the West, Frank Vogel also did the same thing. Frank Vogel was trashed before the year started. Remember when everybody was calling for Rob Pelinka, the GM, and Frank Vogel, the head coach's jobs? It's not going to work. There's no way Frank Vogel will last until the season ends. And I told you guys he would, and he did. So Mike said it first, per usual. I take dubs all the time. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe I know my stuff. We're kind of blitzing through this, so I have a nice little surprise graphic here for you guys in just a second here. So the Miami Heat are going to play... Oh, first of all, what's next for Houston? I apologize for that. I completely glossed over that. I feel bad for Russell Westbrook. He was clearly frustrated late in the game. The report is, like, he was yelling at somebody, and they believe it was Rajon Rondo's brother, William. Rajon Rondo said he called him trash, and there was nothing else there. I'm not so sure about that. But I do know that Rajon Rondo was D'ing up Westbrook. Westbrook has not been the same since the bubble started. That's no excuse. He's still Russell Westbrook. And there were some times when he got hot. He just doesn't have a jumper still, and I don't know what it is. Some guys do not want to work at that. Ben Simmons, Giannis. But first there was the Warriors for Westbrook, and now it's L.A. Like, there was a guy who tweeted out yesterday, oh, well, Kevin Durant was right about Russell Westbrook. No, he was not. Kevin Durant joined a team that was already going to win it anyways, and he just put them over the top. He could win with Russell Westbrook. He decided not to. I feel sorry for Russell Westbrook. Small ball has a chance, but because it makes the bigs work. They call it micro ball, they call it small. I like small ball, but I think micro ball is like this is a scientific term. I really do believe it can work. It's the first year they tried it. It looked pretty good for times. But still, I feel like something's missing. It might be James Harden, or it should be James Harden. I believe you should blow it up. In my heart of hearts, this might be my personal bias speaking. I believe James Harden is not a championship player, or at least as the number one guy. Not saying the NBA isn't loaded with stacked up superstar teams, and James Harden probably in the lesser category of that. But for a guy who's such a good scorer, he just started playing good defense. I don't know how much effort he's going to put in next year. I expect him to have another good year next year. But stop arguing about calls. There are so many times where James Harden and Russell Westbrook were just arguing. I don't know why. Like, we get it. You might be fouled on every single play. Every player is. So why does it matter for you to argue with the officials? James Harden has some nice defensive play this year, and probably is the first defensive highlight reel of his career. I see you choose either Westbrook or James Harden. Try to lure a free agent. Or try to get a third free agent. Maybe a big guy. You don't need a bunch of big guys, just one big guy. That would have helped in this series. I believe micro ball can work. Daryl Morey, his job is reportedly safe. Mike D'Antoni, time will tell, but his job probably will be safe too. Micro ball is a nice invention if used correctly. And James Harden playing iso ball, I believe micro ball has to work as a team. I don't believe it has to work as isolation. James Harden and Russell Westbrook do a lot of isolation. It can work for a while, but not against teams like the Lakers. I do believe it can work if they play team ball and move it more. Yeah, give James Harden his touches. Give Russell Westbrook his touches, but got to play team ball. Okay. This is a very tough series to pick. We know that Boston and whichever team comes out of LA is going to be sexy if it happens. I still believe, I've said it all year, that the Miami Heat have come probably a year or two early. This team is overachieving. We have a bunch of young guys who should not be as good as they are. Not to say we can't compete, I'm just saying. I personally would want to see Jimmy Butler score 25 or 30 a game in order to beat a team like Boston. But when I make this prediction, make no mistake, this could go either way. This could go either way. But there's one thing Toronto did that was very impressive. Toronto made it ugly, which Miami can do. They have Kyle Lowry and they had Pascal Siakam. But those guys are not as good as who we have, that's Jimmy Butler. I don't know why I'm doing this, and I might be completely wrong. And I hope I'm wrong, because I don't believe the Celtics should lose this series. But I've got the Miami Heat in 6. I don't want to pick the Miami Heat. I'm a Heat fan. I do, but I don't. I want to because I'm a Heat fan. I don't because I feel like my credibility is on the line here. I don't know why I'm doing this. But I believe the Miami Heat can win in 6 or 7 games. I mean, it is going to be tough. And both these teams might get swept when they play the Clippers or the Lakers. More so the Heat would be swept than the Celtics. But make no mistake, we have a guy and we're scrappy. That's why it's imperative that Jimmy Butler does his thing. And I don't mean waiting until the fourth quarter to show up. There's a lot of guys that can do that. Can Jimmy Butler attack Game 1 Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, Game 5. You get it. When I come back, guess what we're doing? We're making AFC predictions. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
James A. Paxton here, weekly blog writer and host of The Media's Input, and this is 12 Ounce Sports.
It's Wednesday, my dude.
Fantastic. He gets all this money, and that's it? We're okay with that? No. Baloney. I'm going to tell you what I think should happen.
The one, the only king on the ice himself, Philly Pete, and we are live on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV, channel 760.
Talk about this every single week. Every single week somebody else is up for the doc.
Everyone to Talking Miners. We're getting new at this thing. Great start to the show, everybody.
I'm going to give you all 30 seconds to make sure you get your popcorn and your soda can.
Welcome in live to the 12 Ounce Sports Studio.
World Hockey Report live from here on 12 Ounce Sports. Cody Jansen with you, joined with Cam
It's
Jansen.
the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper. And I got the anglers, the primetime anglers on 12 Ounce Sports.
Smarter by watching the Captain Lou Extravaganza live every Tuesday night at 8 on the 12 Ounce Sports Network.
All right, we're back at it again. Let's go to our AFC picks. Remember, these odds are provided by mybookie.ag. When you go to that website and make your first deposit, be sure to enter the promo code 12 on sports, promo code 12OZ Sports for up to a $1,000 deposit bonus. Okay, a lot of good games this week. Like I said, we're going to start off with the AFC. First, we're going to talk about the Jets and the Bills, and I'll have a little scores for you in just a second. I like Sam Darnold. I don't like Adam Gase. I'm sorry. But I do believe that the Jets can be competitive. How much will Stephon Diggs be used? That's a thing, right? This game, the Bills are 6.5-point favorites. The over-under is 39.5. And I've got it going over. I believe the Jets can be better than people think. I still don't trust Adam Gase, like I just said. Bills win 26-20. The Bills are going to win. Maybe not by that little, but they're going to win, I believe, 26-20 for me. The Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I know last year the Browns went into Baltimore, Maryland, and won the game. They won the game. Not this year. I like Lamar Jackson a lot. I've told you guys before, he might win back-to-back MVPs. I'm serious about that. I'm not joking. That could be a thing. And also, I believe this game is way under. The over-under is 48. Baltimore's favored by 7. I think they win by 7. But I think they only score 41 points total. The reason I say it's going to be a run game because of my conversation I had last night with 12 on Sports' own Talkman Radio. John told me made some good points that this game could be an ugly kind of battle in the trenches. And I thought about it. Kevin Stefanski comes from a system where he had Adrian Peterson, Dalvin Cook, and we think he's going to throw the ball around with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb? I don't think so. I think the Browns could throw the ball with Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr., Austin Hooper, whoever else they got out there. But I believe they're going to be a run-first team like John told me. And sometimes John is wrong, sometimes John is right, and today John is right. I believe Ravens win 24-17. It could be a battle, but we'll see. Indianapolis Colts are taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The only game with fans if anybody shows up, right? I do not like Phillip Rivers. I will make that abundantly clear. I do not like Phillip Rivers. Last time as a Colts fan that I saw Phillip Rivers, and I'm saying I'm a Colts fan, but last time I saw Phillip Rivers, he wanted to retire so badly he was crying. He couldn't wait to get home to his 12 kids. Can Jacksonville be sneaky competitive? Like that's an honest thing. Jacksonville Jaguars can be sneaky competitive here. Not saying they're going to win 2 games this year. Then they might go 2-14. I think that's putting it lightly. But I still like Gardner Minshew. I call him Cashew. DJ Chark does exist. And Doug Marrone, unlike Bill O'Brien, actually has a chance at the number 1 spot. I mean, we'll see. I believe the Colts win 23-14. And by the way, Colts have way too much talent to only win by 8 points. If the Colts win by less than 8, I'm going to be sick to my stomach. Colts win 23-14 in a low-scoring game. I don't trust either offense at all, whatsoever. The Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots, this game is always important. Whether it be the Patriots gunning for 16-0, the Patriots trying to get the number 1 seed in which Tom Brady loses, or, of course, now Cam Newton being the guy. Watch out for Ryan Fitzpatrick, or should I say Ryan Fitzmagic. Remember, the Dolphins are not going to use Tua probably this year. I think they want to make sure his health is 120%, as they should. This game features Brian Flores versus Bill Belichick. And according to Adam Schefter, Devontae Parker, the wide receiver for the Dolphins, will play. I believe the over-under is 43.5. New England favored by 6.5. Take the under. Take the under. Well, no, not the under. Take the points with the Dolphins. Dolphins will only lose by 2 or 3 points. I got them losing by 2. Maybe Cam Newton has a nice drive late. Maybe the Dolphins score a cheap touchdown late. I do not believe the Dolphins will be blown out of this game. They will be competitive, as they should be. Chargers and the Bengals is going to be an eyesore because it's just going to be like, who cares about these 2 teams? People are talking about, Justin Herbert, but we know that Tyrod Taylor will probably start. Unless I'm cracking up myself, I don't know. This game should be way under. It should be way under. Over-under is 41.5. A lot of points to ask from those 2 teams. Chargers only favored by 3. I get it, but I think they should be favored by 3.5, and that would be a little bit nicer for bettors, meaning that they would lose money. Actually, so I don't know why Vegas did 3 right there. Rest in peace to Derwin James' season again, and possibly his career. All he does is get injured. It's sad because that's the thing about sports, You'll have a guy like Derrick Rose who's just going to get injured, and they're super great talents. Chargers win an eyesore 20-14. This time I'm going to pick a new thing. It's called Flip Flopper. Tennessee Titans, the Denver Broncos, is one of the toughest to pick of the week. Von Miller recently had ankle surgery. It was successful. When is a football player's surgery not successful? Unless your name is Alex Smith and you're suicidal. That's not a joke. I'm just saying that. That's like an honest thing. Broncos could be competitive this year. I get it with Drew Lock. I'm still not a fan, but I mean, Broncos have a nice thing going. I think Von Miller was a huge blow. We'll see what happens. Talkman mentioned to me last night that Derrick Henry could run all over the Broncos defense. I get it. I do believe Titans win 20-17. It will be an ugly and nasty game. And if Broncos win, I will not be surprised. Why? Because it's a flip-flopper. That's why. It's a flip-flopper, okay? This game, if Broncos win 20-17, just remember that Mike told you, it's a flip-flopper. Which makes me so mad. I don't know who to pick. It's a flip-flopper, okay? Titans win 20-17. And in case they don't, remember what I told you. It's a flip-flopper. I don't know who's going to win. I'm picking the Titans, but in Denver, I'm not sure. I don't know. Can we trust Ryan Tannehill yet? Can we? Can he make sure the flip-flopper doesn't become a thing? Whatever. Okay. We come back to the NFC, and that includes Seahawks, Falcons. That includes Packers, Vikings, Cowboys, Rams, Buccaneers, and Saints. We're right back. Mike said it first. It's the morning show. It's 7:27 a.m. Eastern Time if you're watching live. If you're not, thank you for watching the replay.
James A. Paxton here, weekly blog writer and host of The Media's Input, and this is 12 Ounce Sports.
It's Wednesday, my dude.
Fantastic. He gets all this money, and that's it? We're okay with that? No. Baloney. I'm going to tell you what I think should happen.
The one, the only king on the ice himself, Philly Pete, and we are live on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV, channel 7.
We talk about this every single week. Every single week somebody else is up for the document.
Everyone, two talking minors. We're getting new at this thing. Great start to the show, everybody.
I'm gonna give you all 30 seconds to make sure you get your popcorn and your soda can.
Welcome in live to the 12 Ounce Sports Studio.
World Hockey Report live comes to you on 12 Ounce Sports. Cody Jansen with you, joined with Cam
It's
Jansen.
the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capital. And I got the Anglers, the primetime Anglers on 12 Ounce Sports.
Smarter by watching the Captain Lou Extravaganza live every Tuesday night at 8 on the 12 Ounce Sports Network.
For the marching exercise, you want to sit down in the center front of your chair, bring your feet shoulder width apart, and form a 90-degree angle with your knees. From here, you're going to lift one foot and raise the opposite arm, just as you march in place in your chair. Make sure you keep that core nice and tight and you breathe into it, and also maintain good posture with a straight back.
Thanks for tuning in. This is your NFC picks. A reminder of who wins the AFC games. I've got the Bills to beat the Jets, Ravens to beat the Browns, Colts to beat the Jaguars by more than 8 points, hopefully. Patriots to edge out the Dolphins, Chargers to win an eyesore against the Bengals, and the Titans to maybe beat the Broncos on what I believe is a flip-flopper, by the way. I'm sorry, I love my own graphics, okay? Reminder that the next odds are also provided by MyBookie.ag. When you sign up with your first deposit, you get up to $1,000 only if you use the promo code TOMOUTSPORTS, promo code 12OZ-SPORTS. Okay, NFC. First game we're talking is Seahawks-Falcons. One of the earlier games. And I have to make this joke because I feel like it's going to be an overplayed joke today. especially with no fans unless you're in Jacksonville and you're somehow a fan of the Jaguars. The Falcons should know about fake crowd noise. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Okay. Dan Quinn knows Pete Carroll. It's true. I believe if there's anything Dan Quinn has learned in the last few years, it's that he can play against Pete Carroll. I'm a Matt Ryan fan. And I do believe that the Falcons struggled last year because of the offensive line. The other defense wasn't great. Although according to somebody on the Falcons that I read this morning, I forgot who it was. He says the Falcons defense will surprise people. That's up to them. The fact that the Seahawks are only a 1.5 point favorite shows me all I need to know. I actually flip-flopped on this game. I don't have the graphic for this segment. But I believe the Falcons will win 27-24. Do people believe me about the Falcons now? I've told people for a few months now, Falcons will not be pushovers. They're going to be healthier. And I think they can play devil's advocate in the NFC South. I have them making the playoffs this year as I believe my 7th seed. Well, any other year they miss it, but this year they're going to make it because of the 7th seed. Thank you, Roger Goodell. I'll take Falcons 27-24. I mean, why not? That could go either way, sure. But I'm going to go Falcons in Atlanta with fake crowd noise. Bears and the Lions. This is the thing. Khalil Mack is expected to play. I don't believe Kenny Golladay is. I'm not sure. I believe he's doubtful, actually. This could be a bore fest as well. Adrian Peterson, are we going to see him? Because we know DeAndre Swift and Kerryon Johnson, who's always hurt, are hurt. And, again, it's going to be an ugly game offensively. If I had to put a number on it, I'd say 20-17. Again, this game might be 17-14. It might be 14-10. I don't know. This game should not be great. It should be kind of ugly, and I'll take the under. I believe there's going to be a lot of unders this week. The Vikings and the Packers. Now, I did not know this. I could have swore Aaron Rodgers was good against the NFC North. He's only 6-6 against the Vikings. That's a pretty interesting stat to me. There is no Stephon Diggs. Not that it mattered last year. He wanted out because they wouldn't use him. I believe Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins could struggle. The difference is Devontae Adams is healthy. And Aaron Rodgers loves him some Devontae Adams. I've got the Packers to win 24-20 and upset the Vikings. And this is going to go right on that 44-45 mark. I wouldn't touch this game. I wouldn't. I believe Packers win with some late Aaron Rodgers heroics. Eagles and the Washington football team. It's the football team. Isn't that cool? Like, I believe I believe if worse came to worse, the Bills and the Washington football team should combine together. The Bills home stadium will be called the Bills Stadium. And can you imagine if they hosted the Washington football team? That'd be kind of cool and boring. Who cares? Alshon Jeffrey and Miles Sanders are both out for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I've come to the conclusion, I said this last year, I'm going to say it again, Philadelphia Eagles have the worst staff. They have the worst conditioning staff. What is wrong with them? Every year these guys are hurt, man. Poor Carson Wentz. Deshaun Jackson, I believe, is going to play. That's going to be cool. And I believe the Eagles are going to win a slugfest, 24-13. It could be ugly. Take the under in this one as well because there's a lot of injured guys. It's COVID. You get it. It's Washington football team. Josh Norman is out. I believe he's still in Washington. Will we see from Chase Young? We'll have to see. I don't know if he's going to have that big of an impact in week one. And my man Carson Wentz is going to get it done late. 24-13, Eagles. Next up is this is the game of the week probably. We all know it. It's the Ageless Wonder game, where for the first time in NFL history, or in other words, 101 years, two quarterbacks are 40 years old apiece facing off against each other as the starters. Brady and Breeze. I'm sorry. Like, Drew Brees literally last year, if Phillip Rivers was crying so bad he wanted to go home, Drew Brees is like, dang it, Tom Brady wants to play some more. That means I got to keep my record and play again. Whatever. Alvin Kamara has to show up if you're a Saints fan. He just has to. I'm sorry. I believe that Alvin Kamara has to show up. And I want to put some people on notice here. And this is not like any personal shots. There's been a lot of talk about how good the Buccaneers offense can be. We brought in Tom Brady, who's 42, going on 47, or 57, should I say. Rob Gronkowski, who hasn't played football in over a year, and the last time we saw him, he wasn't that great except for one stinking catch against the stupid Rams. And we have Mike Evans, who's hurt for this game, but he'll play, I believe. Leonard Fournette's like a cherry on. I told you guys Leonard Fournette's a cherry on top. He's the guy that Tom Brady didn't need, but he has anyways, in case Ronald Jones doesn't show up. Okay. I might be slightly biased here. I am biased. Saints will win a shootout and lead most of the way 28-24. Boom. There you go. This is going to be a good game, but I think Saints are going to win. I've said it for months now. I believe Saints are going to win this game. I don't have to justify myself on that. Arizona Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers in an NFC West showdown. I believe, now there's a lot of teams that lose Super Bowls. I'm Sean McVay. A lot of teams that lose. And they suck the next year. Kyle Shanahan's a genius. 49ers will run all over the Cardinals and win 34-21 in probably the highest scoring game of the week for an opponent. 49ers win 34-21. Cowboys and Rammies. Oh, boy. Here we go. This could be sad. Okay. I've also had the Cowboys in this game for months. That's a thing. I believe the Rams at the end of the season are going to have to choose between Jared Goff or Sean McVay, and they will make a mistake if they choose Jared Goff. The Rams paid Jalen Ramsey. I'm not sure if they think this is the NBA. But I don't think I would rather much. I've told you guys before, I wouldn't pay Jamal Adams a lot, but I'd pay him before I pay Jalen Ramsey. He's not a safety, he's a corner. And his best days might be behind him. They have shelf lives, people. I believe Dak Prescott will have a good game, which means I'm going with my guns, and I have been with the Cowboys for a while. Although I'm a Colts fan, I believe Cowboys could have a good year. I'm saying that against the grain because Mike said it first. Cowboys win a shootout 31-27. Okay, now it's time for your show recap presented by TomoSportsNetwork.com/Amazon. Best part is it costs you nothing. The second best part is you can still get your Amazon stuff by literally clicking that link. Well, not clicking the link, but going to that link. And what's going to happen is when you get on there, you get your stuff, but we get our stuff, if you know what I'm saying. So both sides win. You get your next day shipping, we get our money to say, hey, they were listening to 12 Months Sports. Cool, let's write them a check. Cool. Thank you. Bless you. Here's our show recap presented by 12sportsnetwork.com/Amazon. Okay. Gotta go backwards through my notes here. Remember the name on the What You Missed section of the show? Naomi Osaka won her second U.S. Open. And Conor McGregor was arrested yesterday for alleged sexual assault and indecent exposure at a bar. Not good. Chiefs beat the Texans. More stressful, they beat the Bill O'Briens. I don't know what Bill O'Brien's doing. Mahomes is good as always, and I told you guys about my boy Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Clyde, baby. Oh, it's happening. Lakers close out the Rockets. LeBron James is on an absolute mission as he and Frank Vogel shut up the haters. And Lakers should be the best team in the NBA if they play defense every single game. What is next for Houston? I believe you get a third star, or you choose between Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Those guys, they're going to choose both of them. But James Harden, unless he keeps on improving on defense, I'm not sure what's going to happen. He's not going to be the number one guy on the championship team. That's just how it is. This ain't it. Okay. Little graphic here. I had to get to this one. Celtics and Heat. Boston and LA would be nice in the finals. Because I'm stubborn, I'm a Heat fan, and most of us are. Heat in 6. Heat in 6. Because we're like Toronto, except we have a couple guys who can actually score with the ball in their hands. There you go. Continuing with the show recap presented by PhoneSportsNetwork.com/Amazon, which costs you nothing. Jets will beat the Bills. I'm sorry, I lied. Bills will beat the Jets. Let's get it out of the way. Ravens will beat the Browns in a tough game. Thank you, Talkman, for your input last night. Colts will beat the Jaguars by more than 8 points. If we do not win by more than 8 points, I will cry. Patriots will edge out the Dolphins. Chargers will win an eyesore against the Bengals. And this game was pretty fun to talk about because it featured my first ever flip-flopper. I believe the Titans will beat the Broncos, but I would not be surprised if Broncos win because it's a flip-flopper. I love myself sometimes. Is that self-centered? Whatever. Everybody's easy like Sunday morning, right? Okay. The NFC, I got Seahawks to beat the Falcons. No. I keep on saying that. Falcons to beat the Seahawks. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the Seahawks win. It's a flip-flopper. I believe the Bears will beat the Lions. That could be an ugly game offensively for both teams. Packers will beat the Vikings because Devontae Adams exists and is healthy. Eagles will beat the Washington football team. I think it's funny that the Eagles have the worst injury personnel, the worst conditioning people in the world. And I think the Washington football team should play in Buffalo to play at the Bills' home stadium. That'd be the greatest, most boring thing ever. I believe Breeze will beat Brady 28-24. I also believe 49ers will wipe the floor with the Cardinals, despite Cardinals having a good year. And Cowboys will beat the Rams. Our final topic of the day is AFC versus NFC. We got 2 games. Vegas Raiders and the Carolina Panthers, and Steelers, Daniel Jones and the Giants. I love Steelers defense this year. I really do, but I have a suggestion later on. The over-under in the Raiders-Panthers game is 48, and I'm like, why? Like, is that game seriously going to go that far? That game will not be high scoring. It'll be a Josh Jacobs versus Christian McCaffrey game. I do like Teddy Bridgewater, the quarterback of the Panthers, but he's a game manager, as we saw last year. So the 48 thing is non-existent. Josh Jacobs will be the difference here because he will neutralize, at least kind of neutralize, Christian McCaffrey. And I've got the Raiders to beat the Panthers 24-20. Going under again. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm not. I'm new to this thing. And okay, so I have to wait for this one for a while because Steelers and Giants play the last game of Monday Night Football. Thanks for watching the morning show presented by Drink Aid. I hope you guys are feeling great now that you got your Drink Aid in your system here. As good as Saquon Barkley is, remember, it's Danny Dimes season, okay? I know there's a coin shortage, but Danny has got dimes. I personally believe Big Ben will have a big year. Big Ben has okay, whatever. I also believe Steelers defense will be impressive. But my credibility is on the line once again when the Giants beat the Steelers 27-24 thanks to my boy Danny Dimes. Again, there's a national coin shortage, but Danny's got dimes. There were so many great gems in here. And if I have to overplay this, I will because it's a flip-flopper. That's so going to be a thing later on. That's so going to be a thing. I'll make that a thing. Thank you guys for listening. And also, Vegas Squares, you guys were awesome. They did a good job today. Also, hey, Vegas Squares, by the way, at Vegas Squares, they just posted this poll. Which 2020 rookie are you most excited to watch today? Joe Burrow, Chase Young, Henry Ruggs, or CeeDee Lamb? I'm going to go Joe Burrow. So I'm now in the majority there. There you go. I got Joe Burrow. And I want to talk about this because I've got like 14 minutes left here, and I don't want to go too much overboard with talking here. Not that I care. I had a segment called Nuggets Exposed to Clippers, and I forgot to talk about it because I didn't have a spot lined up for it. I was so busy picking NFL games, I kind of forgot that part. The Nuggets exposed a part of the Clippers that I think was interesting. I told you guys before that chemistry beats talent, especially in the bubble. Clippers have no excuse not to win the NBA championship this year, which is why I believe they won't. That is the reason I believe that they won't. They led by 16 points. And I do not believe in jinxing, so no Charles Barkley guaranteeing the Clippers would win did not make that a thing. Clippers let off the gas because, again, they feel like they can just waltz through the season. Kawhi Leonard realizes, maybe he doesn't, because he looks like he's gone half the time. Kawhi Leonard realizes that he's got to show up and he has to beat LeBron James. Lakers are so darn good defensively, communicating and all kind of stuff. Okay? Clippers have a great roster. A really good head coach. But let's be very clear about something here. Marcus Morris is an idiot and should not be in the NBA making dirty plays play out like game after game, being a disruptor. Same thing with Patrick Beverley. Are you good? Or are you just there because you're trying to get under people's skin so they get thrown out the game or taken out the game? I believe Clippers will close out the Nuggets in 6. I would love if they went to 7. That would be absolutely fantastic if the Nuggets could do that because they have a good team too. But they don't have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. West Finals will start soon, and I believe the Lakers will beat the Clippers in 6. That being said, Clippers got to show me way more because they're not showing anything right now. Thanks for watching today. Enjoy the NFL today. I know I will. I work today at 3 o'clock to 10 o'clock. But hey, it's all right. It's been a great Sunday morning. It's been easy like Sunday morning. And thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great day. See you Tuesday.